Listen carefully. There are moments in life that call you quietly but powerfully. A sudden stillness, a thought that doesn't let go, a sense that something within you is trying to wake up. That moment is not random, it's your awareness reaching for you. And that is where the journey of the chosen begins. Many believe being chosen means destiny favors them, but in truth, the chosen are those who choose awareness. They decide to notice, to pay attention to where their thoughts wander, to what drains their spirit, and to what strengthens it. This choice, so small yet so rare, is the first step towards self-mastery. It is the step most people miss and later wish they hadn't. In the Shaolin path, awareness is the root of all transformation. Before power, before peace, before enlightenment comes the simple act of seeing clearly. The monks of old trained not only the body but the mind that commands it. They learned to guard their energy, to direct their attention like a blade, precise, steady, unwavering. In this video, you will learn how this awareness becomes your greatest weapon and your deepest teacher. I will share how the discipline of the Shaolin monks reveals the hidden layers of your own consciousness, how to detect the noise within, silence it, and listen to the voice of stillness that leads to mastery. By the end, you will understand why awareness is not just a practice, it is a calling. Those who hear it are few, those who answer it are the chosen. I am Shi Hengyi. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire, where ancient wisdom meets the fire of your awakening. If your spirit seeks mastery, peace, and inner power, stay with me until the end, and remember to subscribe because this journey is only beginning. Most people fear discipline because they confuse it with control. But in truth, discipline is not a cage, it is a key. Without it, the mind drifts like a leaf in the wind, chasing every impulse, every distraction. With it, the same mind becomes sharp, steady, and free. When I first entered the Shaolin temple, I believed freedom meant doing whatever I wanted. I thought mastery was born from limitless choice. But I quickly learned, limitless choice is chaos. Freedom without form collapses into confusion. My master once told me, a river without banks becomes a flood. Discipline, he said, is the bank that gives direction to the flow of your spirit. Shaolin philosophy teaches that true discipline is not self-punishment, it is alignment. When you rise early to train, when you breathe through discomfort, when you silence the craving for ease, you are not hurting yourself, you are shaping yourself. You are creating space for your higher nature to emerge, like a sculpture revealed from stone. In time, discipline becomes effortless. It no longer feels forced because it matches the rhythm of your spirit. You begin to act not from compulsion, but from clarity. You stop chasing temporary pleasures and start building lasting strength. Yet, if you skip this foundation, life becomes an open field with no direction. You may feel free, but you wander without power, without purpose. Each day dissolves into the next, and your potential remains buried beneath comfort. The Shaolin path teaches only through structure can your spirit fly. Only through discipline can you touch true freedom, the kind that no one can take from you. When you understand this, you stop fighting discipline. You welcome it because you know it is not here to limit you, but to set you free. There is a moment in every seeker's journey when strength alone no longer works. The harder you push, the more life pushes back. You train, you strive, you control every breath. And yet something inside remains restless. That is the lesson of imbalance. The Shaolin masters knew this truth: what is strong must also be gentle, and what is gentle must hold quiet power. In the temple courtyards, monks would spend hours striking the air with fierce precision, their movements echoing like thunder. Then, without warning, they would stop, kneel, breathe, and sink into silence. The shift was so sudden it felt like time itself had bowed. In that stillness, they discovered the other half of mastery: surrender. Force builds muscle, surrender builds awareness. One trains the body, the other awakens the spirit. Without balance, strength becomes aggression, and stillness becomes stagnation. Together, they form harmony, the place where motion and rest, effort and ease meet and dissolve into one. Discipline, then, is not about domination. It's the art of knowing when to advance and when to yield, when to speak and when to listen. Like the breath, inhale, exhale, the cycle must remain whole. The same energy that powers your strike must also power your silence. Many live caught in extremes, always fighting or always retreating. But the Shaolin path reminds us true power is quiet and true peace is strong. When you honor both the hard and the soft, you stop struggling against life and begin to move with it. It is within this balance that transformation happens. The body finds grace, the mind finds stillness, and the spirit finds its center. This is harmony in opposites, the invisible bridge between strength and serenity, where mastery is no longer something you chase, but something you become. In the Shaolin tradition, the first battle is not fought with the body, it is fought with the mind. Attention is the warrior's blade, and every moment you wield it, you shape the direction of your life. Where your attention goes, your energy follows. And where your energy flows, your destiny unfolds. In ancient times, monks trained not only to master movement, but to master stillness of thought. During meditation, even a drifting leaf could test their concentration. Their task was simple: remain present, unwavering, undistracted. Through this training, they discovered a profound truth. The mind left unattended becomes the greatest enemy. Now, in our modern world, the challenge has only multiplied. Endless notifications, noise, and desires pull the mind in every direction. Attention has become the most precious resource, yet we give it away freely to screens, opinions, and fears. We have learned to react to everything, but to respond to nothing. When attention is scattered, the spirit weakens. You become led by your thoughts instead of leading them. You lose the quiet authority that comes from inner sovereignty, the ability to choose where your energy belongs. To reclaim this power, the Shaolin path teaches discipline of focus. Begin with a single breath. Observe it fully. Notice the rise and fall. The simplicity of presence sharpens awareness more than 1,000 distractions ever could. Over time, the mind obeys again. It listens. It serves. Mastery of attention is not about isolation from the world, but command within it. Amid the chaos, you remain centered. Amid the noise, you hear silence. This is inner sovereignty, the freedom that comes when you no longer chase every thought, but guide them with purpose. In that still, unwavering focus, life begins to move in harmony with your will. In the Shaolin Temple, the path to mastery never began with grand gestures. It began with sweeping the floor. Every morning before training, each monk would clean his space in silence, dusting the altar, folding robes, aligning shoes, simple acts, done with total presence. To an outsider, it might seem meaningless, but within those quiet moments, the seed of mastery was planted. Shaolin wisdom teaches that greatness reveals itself through devotion to small things. When you bring awareness to what seems insignificant, you awaken precision, patience, and humility. The same focus that wipes dust from a table is the focus that later perfects a form or steadies the mind in meditation. Nothing is too small to train the spirit. Modern life moves fast, and we often look only toward big achievements, titles, milestones, recognition. But the monks remind us, if the roots are weak, the tree cannot stand. Each breath, each movement, each decision holds the potential to strengthen your foundation. When you sit in stillness and truly notice your breath, you are learning control over your inner world. When you tidy your space, you are clearing not just the room, but your own mind. These are not chores, they are practices of alignment. Ignore the micro, and you will always chase the macro in vain. You will attempt to master great challenges while stumbling over the small ones you neglected. But when you honor the details, discipline becomes effortless, and life begins to organize itself around your awareness. The Shaolin path reminds us the universe hides its power in the smallest things. The way you walk, breathe, or pour water reflects who you are becoming. Master the moment in front of you, and the larger moments of life will already be mastered within. There is a quiet wisdom in the Shaolin way. Do not chase the fruit, tend to the root. Every monk learns this lesson early. During long hours of training, repeating the same movement hundreds of times, the body tires, the mind protests. The question always arises, why continue? The answer is simple, because the practice itself is the purpose. True mastery is not measured by achievement, but by alignment. The Shaolin monk does not strike to impress, meditate to escape, or serve to be praised. He acts because each action is a reflection of his purpose, to cultivate harmony between body, mind, and spirit. Success and failure are like passing weather. They cannot disturb a purpose rooted deep within. In the world beyond the temple, this truth remains the same. Many move through life chasing outcomes, money, recognition, validation. They achieve, yet feel hollow, because their direction was borrowed, not chosen. When you build your life upon outcomes, your peace becomes fragile. It shifts with every gain and loss. But when you act from purpose, your center stays unmoved, even when the world shakes. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means devotion without dependence. You give your best effort, but release control over what follows. You no longer demand reward, because the act itself becomes sacred. The strike, the breath, the moment, each is complete in itself. When you miss this anchoring, regret follows quietly. You look back and realize you are chasing shadows, mistaking movement for meaning. But when you return to purpose, even the smallest act regains depth. You live not to achieve, but to express what you truly are. And in that still, unwavering intent lies the essence of freedom, the kind that no success or failure can ever touch. In the Shaolin way, the body is not just flesh and bone, it is the vessel through which awareness awakens. Every movement, every breath is a conversation between the physical and the spiritual. The monks do not train the body for strength alone, they train it to quiet the mind, to bring consciousness fully into the present moment. In the temple courtyards, training begins before sunrise. The air is cool, the earth still damp, each strike, each stance is performed with unwavering focus. The body moves, but the purpose is not movement, it is meditation. The repetition is a rhythm that draws the mind inward, until there is no separation between thought and action, self and breath. This is where mastery begins, when body and mind move as one. In modern life, we often live in disconnection. The body sits while the mind races ahead. We think endlessly but feel very little. The Shaolin path restores this unity. Through physical practice, whether kung fu, qigong, or even mindful walking, the mind is reminded of its home in the body. Awareness returns to the present, anchored in sensation, rhythm, and breath. Ignoring the body is like closing one eye of perception. You see, but not clearly. You understand, but not deeply. The body is a sacred doorway. Through it, you enter the truth of the moment. Each stretch, each breath, each controlled motion refines the link between the inner and outer worlds. Over time, movement becomes silence in motion. Effort becomes ease. You no longer train the body, you train the self within it. In that still unity, the monk and the movement are the same. And in that moment of harmony, the infinite reveals itself through the simplest act of being fully alive. In the Shaolin path, strength without virtue is emptiness. The monks have long taught that power, when not guided by moral principle, becomes corruption of the spirit. True mastery is not measured by how high you can strike or how long you can meditate, but by the quality of your heart while doing so. Virtue is the ground on which all discipline stands. The first of these virtues is humility. In the temple, every novice begins by serving, cleaning floors, fetching water, bowing before teachers and elders. It is not punishment, it is purification. Through humility, the ego softens and the heart becomes teachable. Only when one stops believing they already know can real knowledge enter. Next comes loyalty, not blind obedience, but steadfastness to one's path. The Shaolin monk remains loyal to truth, to community, and to his inner vow. It is this loyalty that carries him through doubt and fatigue. When storms come, loyalty keeps the flame alive. Then there is courage, not the roar of battle, but the quiet bravery of facing oneself, to meet fear, shadow, and weakness without turning away. That is the courage of the disciplined soul. The Shaolin master knows that the hardest wars are fought in silence within the heart. Without these virtues, skill becomes hollow. A technique performed without humility is arrogance. Discipline without loyalty is hollow ambition. Strength without courage is brittle and afraid. The moral framework gives direction to the energy of mastery. It ensures that power serves life, not ego. To live the virtues is to remember that the path is not just about perfecting movement, but perfecting being. When humility grounds you, loyalty anchors you, and courage opens you, mastery gains its true depth, strength guided by wisdom, and wisdom guided by love. In the quiet halls of the Shaolin Temple, mindfulness is not an exercise to be checked off, nor a skill to impress others. It is not something you perform, it is something you become. Each breath, each movement, each glance is an opportunity to step fully into the present. The monks teach that presence is the foundation of wisdom, and wisdom cannot grow in distraction. Often, seekers approach mindfulness as if it were a tool, a way to get more done or to feel better. But the true path is different. It is not about achieving a state or collecting a feeling. It is about inhabiting each moment completely, without judgment, without expectation. To sweep the floor, to lift a cup of tea, to listen to the wind passing through the courtyard, these are not tasks. They are invitations to presence. The Chen masters remind us that the mind wanders, and that is natural. Awareness is not about stopping thought. It is about noticing where it goes, returning gently again and again, like a leaf floating on a stream. Over time, this gentle attention shapes the mind, softens the ego, and sharpens perception. Presence becomes effortless because it is no longer forced, it is lived. When you miss this distinction, mindfulness becomes another goal to chase. You meditate to achieve calm, to measure progress, or to impress yourself. The practice loses its depth, and the mind remains restless even while the body sits still. Mindfulness as presence, as a way of being, transforms the ordinary into the sacred. Each moment holds its own completeness, if you simply allow yourself to step into it fully. To embody this practice is to let life move through you with clarity, patience, and grace. And in that quiet flow, mastery is born, not as something you acquire, but as something you become. Many walk through life carrying quiet regret, unaware that each moment of oversight was a lesson in disguise. In the Shaolin tradition, regret is not a curse. It is a signal, a missed breath, a wandering mind, an unheeded discipline. These are not failures, but invitations to awaken. To ignore them is to remain asleep. To notice them is the first step toward transformation. Monks often speak of the subtle signs that appear long before catastrophe. A distracted mind, a restless body, a lack of balance, each is a whisper from life itself, guiding the seeker toward correction. Those who do not heed these early signals find themselves retracing steps, wishing they had acted sooner. But in the Shaolin path, missing is not the end, it is a beginning. Every misstep, every ignored practice, every fleeting moment of negligence becomes a teacher when observed with clarity. Regret is transformed into wisdom when it is acknowledged without shame, when it fuels discipline rather than despair. The path teaches that the present moment holds all power. Yesterday cannot be changed, but today can be shaped through awareness, action, and intention. To internalize these teachings is to turn theory into life. Meditation without practice, virtue without habit, strength without presence, they remain concepts until they are embodied. Action bridges the gap between knowledge and mastery. The body, mind, and spirit must all respond to the call, or the lesson remains dormant, unfulfilled. The Shaolin path shows that the pain of what was missed can become the fuel for what can still be realized. Listen now, act with focus, and align each step with purpose. In this way, regret is no longer a shadow, but a lantern, illuminating the way toward mastery, balance, and the quiet strength that comes from learning before it is too late. Remember, mastery is not found in fleeting moments of achievement, but in the quiet, steady cultivation of your inner world. By choosing awareness over distraction, discipline over chaos, harmony over extremes, and presence over performance, you step into the path of the chosen ones. Each small act of attention, each mindful choice, each moment of virtue becomes a brick in the foundation of your true power. Apply these principles in your daily life. Sweep your space with care, breathe with intention, act with courage, and observe without judgment. Let each action, no matter how small, be a reflection of the life you wish to embody. In doing so, the lessons of the Shaolin tradition transform from theory into living experience, and your life unfolds with meaning, clarity, and quiet strength. May this awareness guide your steps, and may you move through each day with the calm confidence of one aligned with purpose. If these teachings resonate with you, join our journey, like, subscribe, and become part of Shaolin Soulfire, where ancient wisdom lights the path to inner mastery and peace.